the book of AlphaRonomy, homie. Read it or weep. Most alpha males are single. Not all, but most. And there is one reason that this is. And no, it is not because we all want to be players or we all want to, have 10,000 women or, we're afraid of commitment or anything like that. It has less to do with us than it has to do with women and their availability for men of our caliber. Let's take a deep dive on this one. But first, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff. Now, when it comes to the assumption that most alpha males are not in relationships or not in committed relationships or even monogamous relationships, the ideology or the idea that's being spread is that we're afraid of commitment. They call it commitmentphobia. So the word around town is that we all experience commitment phobia and we're afraid of commitment. We're afraid of the responsibility of commitment. But nothing could be further from the truth. You see, commitment is not the issue with the alpha male. Meeting a woman who is worthy of that commitment is the issue that alpha males have. And I don't mean worthy as far as the value she brings. I mean worthy as far as the energy and effort she's willing to put forth into that type of relationship with an alpha male. See, what we must understand is that the majority of women are used to having an easy way with men. They're used to having men who cater to them. They're used to having men who make them the center of their world as opposed to the man being the center of the woman's world. They're used to having men who let them get away with anything and reward them anyway. They're used to getting certain treatment from men just based on the fact that they're a woman and they're present in the man's life. But they find out early on that you must work to be in the presence of an alpha male that way. Now, the rewards are so great that they don't just run away. They want to be with an alpha male, but they hit the point that they're not willing to work anymore for what they want before they hit the point where they're tired of getting the benefit of being with the man. You see what I'm saying? A woman will try to pick a sweet spot where she gets enough of the alpha male's energy to give her that feeling that she loves so much, but she stops short of crossing that line to where she's going to be on the hook for a whole lot of attention, a whole lot of effort and energy toward keeping that going. So she'd rather take the 1% of an alpha male that she can get because that 1% is better than 100% of a beta male. Your woman won't admit this to you, Mr. Beta Male, but I'm telling you, this is what she thinks. This is what she feels. See, women don't like entertainers and superstars just because they're entertainers or superstars, just because they're attractive. It's because when an entertainer is on the screen, he's able to exude a power that is reminiscent of what the alpha energy is. But let me tell you, the one woman who can tell the difference is a woman who has truly been blessed enough to enjoy the essence and energy of an alpha male, who has spent some time in the company of an alpha male, spending what women like to call quality time. You must understand this. As an alpha male, the chances are that you're going to remain single forever because women simply don't have it in them in this society. Women aren't being born and raised and haven't been for the past 50 years to understand the amount of dedication that it takes. And they have been trapped in the rat race of competing with other women and also competing with men to reach new financial plateaus, reach new career plateaus. And even now, they're starting to get into reaching new fitness plateaus. So they're in the rat race competing with all of the other rats when all of the cheese is over here with the alpha male. But she can't begin to extract herself from that because she was born and raised that way. She was only trained to be one of those women who's out there in the rat race. And then by the time a woman realizes that being in the rat race is not more important than having an alpha male, she's beyond the point where an alpha male wants her. And I don't just mean age-wise, because we don't totally just discriminate against women based on age. But the problem is, by the time a woman gets to a certain age, she's had a certain amount of experiences with a certain amount of men. And whenever those experiences end and the woman is not with the man anymore, she has an emotional, a physical, and a spiritual scar left from that particular situation. And once an alpha male picks up on that energy, he's going to understand that she's way too scarred. She's way too experienced. See, a woman has to have a slight bit of naivete to deal with an alpha male. She has to have that because it's going to take a certain level of blind following. But you don't have to worry about seeing if you're following a leader. A leader's going to lead the way. And younger women tend to have that, but younger women also have the pull of social media, the pull of peer pressure, the pull of entertainment, the pull of music. And all of those things are a lot of pull for a woman to resist. So that's why I say a woman cannot be involved in social media if she's going to be with me, because I'm not going to deal with pulling against social media while social media is pulling her against me. I'm not going to deal with that. I've spent too much time in my life becoming the man that I am, building up the repertoire of knowledge and information and wisdom that I have for me to have to try to force a woman to follow me, to try to force a woman to understand that wisdom, understanding, knowledge is better than the mere entertainment she gets from social media, she gets from television, or the trick box as I like to call it, she gets from music. But the majority of women out here are either too far gone to be reeled back in, or they simply don't want to be reeled back in. And that is why alpha males have relationships with women that end abruptly. Relationships that seem healthy, that seem to be on the ball. At a certain point, a woman's laziness kicks in. A woman has a certain emotional laziness. All women do. Because the majority of men bend over backwards to make up the difference emotionally. So women are no longer emotionally vested like they used to be. Now they can just sit back and relax because there's always some man, no matter what that woman's situation is, there's always some man who's going to come in and fill in the gaps. The gaps can be 99% of the effort, and a man will come in and put in 99% of the effort. That's why a woman doesn't have to try to make a situation work with her child's father, because there's another man who's going to come along and marry her anyway. And then she has a child with that man. She doesn't have to try to make it work with that man either, because there's another man who's going to come along and marry her anyway. And then she has a child with that man, and so on and so forth. It does not matter. There is no limit to what the beta male is willing to do in order to prove himself worthy of a woman's presence, which in turn renders the woman incapable of being dedicated to the process of proving herself worthy to being in the company of an alpha male. That is the reason that the majority of the alpha males are single. It is not because we don't want to have women. It's just the fact that we want to have worthy women who are worthy of all of the things that we bring to the table, all of the ways we can enhance a woman's life. A woman's life is automatically enhanced when she's in the presence of an alpha male. All alpha males know this, and even more so, all women know this. Any woman who has been in the company of an alpha male, any woman who has a friend or a relative who is in the company of an alpha male, she knows whenever she's around, she gets to soak up those jewels as well. And her friend is sharing new information with her that she's picking up from the alpha male in her life. The issue is there are very few women who want to put in the amount of work and dedication that it takes to get that type of payoff. A degree is fine. It's nothing compared to being in the presence of an alpha male. Money is cool. It's nothing compared to being in the presence of an alpha male. Friendships, popularity, wonderful. But it's nothing compared to being in the presence of an alpha male. They know this. They just won't show this. Why? Because at a certain point, there becomes enough beta males who can outweigh the energy force of one alpha male. We're not bionic men. It's just that we bring so many positive qualities to the table: masculinity, manhood, focus, dedication, determination, principles. that other men don't bring. But after a while, the overwhelming amount of validation that women get from other men is just too much to resist. So I say to you, if you are a woman who is on social media, especially if you don't have any business interest there, if you're just a woman who's on social media to be social, you'll never have an alpha male. If you're a woman who likes to go out and party, you'll never have an alpha male. If you're a woman who likes to watch idiotic shows on the trick box, you'll never have an alpha male. If you're a woman who doesn't know how to zip your lip and flap your ears, you'll never have an alpha male. And if you're okay with that, fine. Well, stop complaining about the men that you're dealing with. If you want those men, accept those men and everything they bring to the table. Because if you want an alpha male, you're going to have to do 10 times as much as you do to get those men, which shouldn't be a big deal because you don't have to do anything to get those men but show up. I speak for the alpha males when I say it's better to not have a woman at all than to have a woman who's not fully vested and dedicated to what it is I'm trying to build in this kingdom. It is better to not have a woman at all than to have a woman who doesn't have the capacity to put forth the type of effort that it takes to even deserve all the benefits you get from being with an alpha male. And it's better to simply have a woman who comes around when you need sex and then goes on her way than it is to have a woman who believes that her sex has any value to an alpha male. It has no more value to me than it has to you. And you know what value it has to you? It feels good. If you're a woman out there, accept the fact that if you want an alpha male, baby girl, you got to work for him. Same way you work for your degrees. Same way you work to get fit. Same way you work to make your family love you. If you ain't willing to put forth that work and more, forget about having an alpha male. And we'll just keep living our alpha lives. Because if we want a woman, we can get a woman. But if you want an alpha, you can't just show up and get him. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic. I look forward to hearing what you men and women have to say. I'm out. It's the book of AlphaRonomy, homie. Read it,